Hello everyone, welcome to Pediatrics by Dr. Anand. This is the part 3 of our case presentation, and today we're going to talk about history of presenting illness in terms of fever. Okay, in the part 1 we told about the name, age, gender, address, informant, too much in detail. In part 2 I told you about the history of presenting illness and the presenting complaints format. Now in part 3 I'm going to tell you regarding the history of presenting illness in terms of fever. Like we say, no, it was fever was sudden in onset or gradual in onset, or what is the type of fever, fever with chills or rigors. Are you understanding those all things of fever if a patient comes, because fever is the most common patient complaint patient comes with. So starting with fever, the first point you should know is duration of the fever. Duration of the fever is very important. For example, if the fever is of short duration or fever is of the long duration. Okay, so always remember, if the fever patient is having of a short duration fever, you will think of viral. Yes or no? Viral is the most commonest cause patient comes, right? Okay, I think we are thinking patient is having viral fever, short duration, 5 days or 5 to 7 days. Okay, but a long duration fever, you should think of any idea like tuberculosis. Have you heard of tuberculosis? Very important fever, with evening rise of temperature, cough with evening rise of temperature. So other condition like chronic malaria, even typhoid. Yes or no? Step ladder pattern of fever, slow, long duration fever, or even granulomatous diseases also. So please, you have to open your brains, try to allow your brains for a lot of beautiful information. So fever of short duration or fever of long duration. Fever of long duration, you should think of tuberculosis, malaria, typhoid, or granulomatous disease. Now, how is the rise of the fever? Is it a abrupt, like a abrupt rise of fever, or a gradual rise of fever? That is also very important for us. Okay, abrupt rise of fever or a gradual rise of fever. Every point which I'm saying, try to you yourself also think first what could be the answer. For abrupt causes, it could be number one, malaria. Yes or no? Patient can have malaria, urinary tract infection, have abrupt onset of fever. Even pneumonia is also in some cases abrupt onset of fever. But a gradual onset of fever, anyone? Again, pause the video, think what do you think? So the answer is typhoid fever. Yes or no? Step ladder pattern of fever, gradual onset of step ladder pattern of fever. Typical example of is typhoid fever. Okay, so fever duration over and abrupt and gradual onset over. Now comes the type of the fever. Yes or no? So the fever was continuous in nature or remittent in nature. Have you heard those names? So course of the fever, I would say it is divided into continuous fever, intermittent fever. We have one more known as remittent fever. Have you heard the name remittent fever? So continuous, intermittent, remittent. Any other example? Have you heard of saddleback type of fever? Saddleback type of fever. Have you heard of Pell-Epstein bar like fever? Have you heard PEL, Pell-Epstein, EBSTEIN? Remember, Epstein anomaly is another thing. Okay, box shaped heart seen in congenital heart disease with oligemic lung fields. So now the continuous fever. What is continuous fever? What is the meaning of continuous fever? So continuous fever, I'll make a diagram for you. I'll teach you in a diagram. Very wonderful. Continuous fever is a fever. Number one, it is always above the baseline. This is the baseline, the dot, not the dots one, and this is my continuous fever. Continuous fever will always be above the normal range, number one, and does not fluctuate more than 1 degree Celsius throughout the day. So please remember, continuous fever is always above the baseline, above the normal range, and does not fluctuate more than 1 degree Celsius. The examples of continuous fever are typhoid fever, urinary tract infection, and brucellosis. Please remember, okay, typhoid fever, urinary tract infection, and brucellosis are the examples of continuous fever. Okay, now comes the intermittent fever. What is intermittent fever? What happens? So again, first I will make the baseline. I will make a simple baseline, okay, and then I will tell you how the fever jump here and there in the intermittent fever. Intermittent fever, please remember, yes, so the temperature fluctuation in intermittent fever is more than 1 degree Celsius. This fluctuation is more than 1 degree Celsius, and again it touches the baseline also. You can see that, right? It is touching the baseline also, and temperature fluctuation is more than 1 degree Celsius. And the fever is present only a few hours in a day, and then it dips down, and few hours in a day and it dips down. Examples are like malaria or kala azar or paima or septicemia, filarial fever. So please remember, okay, intermittent fever, the examples are malaria, filaria, Kala Azar, Paima, septicemia. For continuous fever, it could be a viral fever which is continuous, typhoid fever, UTI, and brucellosis. Okay, now come the third one which I'm making right now, that is the remittent fever. Remittent. So remittent fever, again you can see that it is always above the baseline. It was always above the normal range. Yes or no? The dot ones are the normal range, and the remittent fever is always above the normal range, and temperature fluctuation is more than 2 degrees Celsius. Please remember 2 degrees Celsius. Temperature fluctuation more than 1 degree Celsius will be intermittent fever, but more than 2 degrees Celsius fluctuation will be remittent fever, and it is always above the baseline, always above the normal range. Examples could be like enteric fever also you can see, and also infective endocarditis. Infective endocarditis also you can see this remittent fever. Are you understanding? Yes or no? These are very important, very simple terms, but yet very confusing. You must know them. Okay, so yes, understood. Okay, and then we have the saddleback fever. Remember saddleback fever, example, alternating febrile and afebrile periods of 2 to 3 days each. There is no space to write, that is why I'm speaking. Alternating febrile and afebrile periods of 2 to 3 days each. Example is dengue fever. Okay, alternating febrile and afebrile periods of 2 to 3 days each. For example, dengue fever. Okay, dengue fever. Then come the Pell-Epstein Barr-like Pell-Epstein fever. Pell-Epstein Barr-like fever everyone knows, seen in Hodgkin's lymphoma. It is the alternating febrile and afebrile periods of 3 to 10 days each. 3 to 10 days each. Remember that, okay? Pell-Epstein Barr-like fever, alternate febrile and afebrile period of 3 to 10 days each. Example, Hodgkin lymphoma. And a febrile and afebrile period of 2 to 3 days each. Example is dengue fever. Then comes another important point, something known as undulant fever. And then we have something known as tertian fever. Okay, and then we have quartan fever. Okay, this covers a lot of types of fever. Undulant fever will be like a wave. Okay, fever rises like a wave. Undulant fever, the fever rises like a wave. I'll just make a diagram. See this one, this wave. Okay, this wave. My drawing is not that great. Okay, but still I'm trying. So undulant fever, the fever rises and fall like a wave. The example is brucellosis. In a condition of brucellosis, you use the undulant fever. Okay, are you understanding? Then what else? What is tertian fever? Tertian fever relapses every third day, and quartan every fourth day. Examples for tertian fever, the examples for tertian fever will be nothing but malaria due to Plasmodium vivax, and for quartan fever, where the relapse is there every fourth day of the fever, the example will be malaria due to Plasmodium malariae. Okay, simple questions. Okay, but still examiner ask you, and that time your blood pressure comes down and you think, oh my god, I don't even remember this also. Okay, so these were the important types of fever. And after that, what else do you need to know? One very important thing, fever with chills and rigors. Have you heard the name fever with chills and rigors? This is a very simple history. Sir, madam, the fever was continuous or irremittent with chills and rigors. What is chills? What is rigors? See, chills means I'm feeling cold. Patient feeling cold is chills, and rigors means shiveriness. Shivering is the rigors. Any examples of fever with rigors? Anyone? This my grandmother also can answer. So, malaria is having fever with chills and rigors. Filaria also. Even a basic urinary tract infection also, very important, UTI and tonsils. Okay, if I have follicular tonsillitis, I will have fever with rigors. UTI also, remember, urinary tract infection also, patient can have rigors. Next, if I talk about fever with altered sensorium, okay, we say, right, fever is associated with chills, fever is associated with convulsion, fever with associated with altered sensorium. So fever with altered sensorium, of course everyone knows this answer. So meningitis, have you heard of meningitis, where you have this neck rigidity, Kernick sign and Brudzinski sign? Meningitis. Okay, fever with altered sensorium, meningitis. Remember, meningeal signs are different, and signs of raised ICT is different. Okay, now fever with convulsions, any example? CNS infection. Okay, fever with convulsion, you should think of CNS infections. Fever with altered sensorium, you should think of meningitis. These were the important points regarding the case presentation about in detail of the fever. And remember, like, type of remission also is important. If the fever is abruptly remitting, you will think of malaria because of the lysis of the RBCs. And if the fever is remitting like a wave, then you will think of brucellosis. Okay, brucellosis. I told you, right? Undulant fever rises and falls like a wave. Brucellosis. Okay, you have to make notes. Okay, I mean, if you are able to understand this case presentation, then you are really lucky. So that was all about the part 3 of the case presentation by Dr. Anand, and we had covered HOPI of the fever. In the next video, I'll be covering HOPI of the pain. Okay, pain like site of pain, severity of pain, because these are very important bulk. This is the main content for pediatrician. Okay, that you should remember. I hope you like this video. If you really like the case presentation video, please put on a comment section or let me know so that I can keep making it more and more. Okay, thank you so much for the participation. You can join my free WhatsApp group for pediatrics on 9999897081, and have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you.